Sydni Brae Gwinn here today to talk to you about the top 10 essential things you need to start cleaning your car. Number 1, you are going to need a bucket. Any clean 5-gallon bucket is going to work for this. And then you need wash sponge or mitt. So when it comes to this, you just want to make sure you're not going to use your house kitchen sponge. You need a dedicated car sponge or wash media. So you want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure that that's the purpose of it. This is a wash pad made with microfiber. There's also the little microfiber noodle pads that you can use, or just a traditional car wash sponge. Like I said, you just want to make sure that it's clean, free of any debris, and not really used for any other purpose other than washing the vehicle. You need a good car wash soap. You want something that is economical, pH balance, that's going to be easy to use, but do a really great job at cleaning. The one I have here is Pearl. It's just a great, easy soap for everyday cleaning. It's not going to have any fillers or waxes in it, and it's not going to be too strong that could potentially harm any surfaces. If you're curious on what soap is right for you, we did a whole video on it right here. Go check it out. And number 3, a garden hose. You obviously need a water source to wash your vehicle, fill your buckets, fill your bottles, whatever that may be. So what I have here is just a standard garden hose. You are gonna wanna make sure that it's about 50 to 100 feet, depending on where your hose bib on your home is. But the most important thing is you wanna be able to reach all the way around the vehicle, not be pulling tight on the hose. You don't want it to get stuck under the tires, and you wanna make sure that you are able to rinse all of the areas quickly and in an efficient amount of time. As far as your sprayer on the end, you can use any garden sprayer. This one here is what they call a fireman nozzle. So this just simply twists open and close to turn the water on. The reason that I like this is it helps a little bit with hand fatigue as far as holding an actual trigger on a garden sprayer. Number 4, you are going to need a drying towel to finish your car. So once you've got it all washed, you need a dedicated drying towel that is only going to be used for this one function of drying your vehicle after you've washed it. So this is going to fall in the category that I call a clean towel, meaning it's not really going to touch anything that's dirty. So important that you dedicate it specifically to that. Here I have a liquidator. This towel is great because it will dry the entire exterior of the car. It's a twist loop design. It's super absorbent, and it's super safe for the finish of the car. So this just happens to be my favorite. You definitely want at least 1, maybe 2 drying towels kind of in your arsenal. If you want to have other dedicated finishing towels, I have one towel that is for any detail sprays or sealants that I want to add to top off the paint. And then I always have one that is dedicated just for glass. So these kind of fall in the same category of what I consider my clean towels, meaning they've never wiped out a barrel and they've never cleaned a dirty interior. Number 5, you're gonna need an all-purpose cleaner. This is gonna be a cleaner that's gonna be super versatile for you. It's gonna do many different jobs. So this might be something that you might use to clean your wheels and tires, your engine bay, any contamination that's on the side of the vehicle. It's gonna loosen up bugs on the front for you. You can also dilute it if necessary to use on the interior as well, which is super nice. There's going to be all-purpose cleaners that come ready to use and some that may need to be diluted. So just make sure that you read your labels, follow any instructions, just to make sure that you're using the product safely. Number 6, we are going to talk about brushes. On your wash, you are going to want a good couple brushes in your arsenal. I definitely recommend having a tire brush. This is because you don't want to cross-contaminate your wash mitt with the tires. So tires are going to have a lot of road grime, they're going to have sticky stuff, and they're going to have old tire dressing, which is kind of greasy. So you want a good tire brush. So I recommend a stiff bristle. This is going to help pull all of that stuff off of the tire, leaving behind a nice clean tire. You don't want to use too soft of a bristle because it won't get everything off. So I like a good smaller stiff bristle brush so that you can get in all of those areas on the tire next to the wheel. And then on the interior, I definitely recommend having a brush for the interior, because a lot of the areas you're going to be fine with your interior cleaner and a good towel, but in those hard to reach areas, the plastic parts like the cup holders, the map pockets, that you need a good brush to get down into those cracks to get all of the dirtiness out. Number 7 is your interior towels. These are going to be what I kind of consider the dirty towels, meaning you're not afraid for them to get dirty. So you're going to use these for jobs on the interior, or you could also use them on the exterior for dirty things like wiping up bugs, wiping out the wheels, or something like that. Lots of different options when it comes to microfiber towels. So I do still recommend having at least 10 towels to clean your car, because you are going to be doing different jobs and you don't want to keep using dirty towels for different jobs as you switch functions. So there's lots of different kinds you can get. You can get pearl weaves, you can get terry cloth microfiber towels. One option that I think is a great option is the ribbon rags. And the reason I think this, there's two different sizes. There's a 12 by 12 and then also the Ultra, which is a 16 by 16. So this is a pearl weave. The reason that I like these is because they stay in this box. They come out on a roll similar to like a paper towel, and you can rip off as many as you need. The great part about that is they stay clean in the box, but then you can also either wash them and reuse them again, or if you get them really dirty, you don't feel guilty throwing them away because of the price point. So this is a great option, 2 different sizes. I just like the simplicity of this, but like I mentioned, just make sure you're using kind of high quality microfiber that you know is not going to harm any of the surfaces of your vehicle. Number 8. Interior cleaners. So we did talk a little bit earlier that you could use an APC on your interior, but this is really the best way to go when it comes to interior surfaces. They are a lot more delicate and require some special attention when cleaning your car. You want to look for one that is definitely like an all-around, that's ready to use. It will just simplify things. You're going to use these on any interior surface like the leather. They can be used on carpet in a pinch too to remove some stains. They're going to be great on the vinyl, plastic, everything. The only areas you're not going to use them on would be the nav screen and the gauge cluster. So this is where you're going to incorporate those brushes we talked about earlier, as well as the towels. One pro tip I do want to mention is when you're cleaning your interior, I always recommend spraying the cleaner onto the towel first and then working it into your surface versus spraying it directly onto the surface. Just because not knowing which cleaner you're using, there's some that could leave a mark. So make sure no matter which one you choose that you always read the manufacturer's recommendations on the back of the bottle and you'll be good to go. Number 9, you're gonna need a good vacuum. Generally speaking on the interior, this is where it is the dirtiest. So you're gonna need something that is going to clean up all that sand and dog hair and dirt, grass, all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend having a shop vac. So that could be something like this. I have a battery powered Ego vacuum that's going to be great for just being able to get around and not have cords behind me, but really any shop vac of sorts is going to work. The only thing I don't recommend is trying to use your house vacuum. Those hoses don't generally bend in the directions that you need to, and they don't have enough lift, which is the power of suction that it has to get all of that sand and dirt out of vehicle carpets. It can be a little bit more difficult. So when it comes to a shop vac, like I said, there's a lot of different ones out on the market. Most of them are going to work great for you. There's 2 important things that you want to have though, which is the attachments. This is a big one. So you want to make sure that you have a claw or a large brush type tool to get the majority of the matter out of the larger sections of carpet. And then you want to have a crevice brush. So the crevice brush is going to come into play in between the center console and the seats, underneath the seats, all the little nooks and crannies. You want to make sure you get those so that it looks like you actually vacuumed, right? Another big thing is you want to make sure your hose is long enough. You just want to make sure that you have a long enough hose to get like all the way over your trunk to be able to get all that carpet back there underneath the seats. And then one last tool that I will mention since it's on here is we have a For Real on here, which is a pet hair tool. This is going to make it a lot easier if you have pet hair in your vehicle to get that out of there. So if you want to know more about this, you can check that out right here, where we had a demonstration with the Buff Bright team on what this does and how to get it. So this is a great tool. But otherwise, like I said, you just want to make sure you have a dedicated vacuum for your vehicle. Number 10, glass cleaner. Once you have spent all this time cleaning your car, you want to finish it off with the glass being perfect. So you're going to need a good glass cleaner. These are super simple. There's lots of different options on the market. I do think that you need a good glass cleaner and especially a good glass towel. This is where the biggest failure is in the towels. People don't have good glass towels like we talked about earlier, the dedicated glass towel that is only used on glass. You will get nice streak-free glass both on the interior and the exterior. So at the end of when I'm cleaning my car, my glass is the very last process. This is how I finish everything out, and boom, the car looks amazing. So I hope you found this video educational and helpful. For more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe to the Rag Company YouTube channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.